Anatomy of Chi, Volume 3. When we injure ourselves, it could be something real simple. Let me back up. Things just don't happen out of the blue. Okay? Well, actually they do, but we'll talk about that. That's called accidents. I mean, something can fall and hit you and you can get hurt. That's absolutely true. But I'm talking about things that we do. Today, actually, I want to talk about what's called repetitive use. If you're watching this on a computer, so you're probably pretty competent at using a computer. Well, if you use a computer for many hours, there's a chance that you could have repetitive use built up in your body. Now, at the end of the day, you feel fatigued, you go home, you grab a bite to eat, you watch some TV, you go out with your friends, you go to the gym. You may not notice that subtly you're building in a little issue. And the chi is getting blocked slowly. It's happening so slowly that you don't even notice that it's getting blocked. Till one day you wake up in the morning and you say, gee, I have a pain here. Well, again, using the idea that the energy is blocked, that chi is blocked, it's congested, and it's leading to pain. So this, as opposed to dealing with an injury when it happened in Volume 2, this is actually trying to get you to think about your chi before it happens. So a little preventative work happens. So if you go to your workstation and you look at your computer, is your screen right in front of you? Are you sitting square in front of the screen? Is your head down or up? A lot of people I know hurt themselves watching TV or with their head to the side. In the moment, it may not feel like anything, but over time is where it's going to happen. And knowing what I know, I could walk through your average office of maybe 100 workers at computers and probably pretty accurately pick out, if they're not already hurting in those areas, where they're going to hurt. And it doesn't take a magician to do that. It just takes a little mindfulness and knowing, what's going to happen to the different muscle groups. By and large, we are a skeleton of 206 bones, plus or minus for some of you. And we're moved by muscles. The muscles are the motors of our body. If we had no need to move, no muscles would contract. That's interesting. The whole idea of how to stretch was, on a more external level, teach people how to stretch those muscles that tighten. Well, with this particular direction we're taking, I want to talk about what gets those muscles to contract in the first place. Well, locomotion, like walking down the street, is normal. That's a normal thing that you would do with your muscles. So let's say you went for a walk around the block and you started going 2 blocks, 5 blocks, and you started walking 2-3 miles every day. As time built up, you would notice that your shins were more tight, your quads were more tight, and you would want to stretch that. Now, if you didn't do it, and I hear this more from runners because running compresses time. If you walk 3 miles, it's the same exercise. Well, not if you saunter along, but if you really walk for 3 miles, it's the same exercise if you run 3 miles, but there's so much more pounding on the body during the running that the injuries crop up sooner. I have a lot of people come in, they go, my feet hurt, my knees hurt from running, from walking longer and longer distances. It's because the motors of the muscles, if you will, that have contributed to their locomotion have not been attended to, they've been shortened by walking or running, and they haven't been lengthened. Okay? Animals know this. Watch dogs and cats. They stretch. My dog does 2 or 3 stretches before he moves, and he shakes his body longitudinally. Then I know he's ready for action. He's ready to go run around. He's ready to swim. He does it instinctively. I don't have to tell him to go lay down and stretch. But he knows that. We as creatures are so much in our thoughts and in our emotions, we'll get to that in a later volume, that we forget about what's good for us. How many times have you heard somebody eating something that they know is bad for them, bad for their chi, and they go, it tastes so good, or I'm too lazy to get this, I'm just going to eat that. Then later at night, they may get sick, they may throw up. Their chi was blocked in their stomach because the enzymes couldn't come out and digest the food quick enough, and they got sick. Ergo, their chi was blocked, and ergo, the innate intelligence or chi of the body said, I'm getting it out of there. Throw up. By the way, if that food that you shouldn't have digested makes it past the stomach, the chi of the body has another way to get rid of it, and okay, it's called diarrhea. Okay. Occasionally, chi gets really, really, really stuck in the intestines, and people get constipated. Again, this is for later volumes. But let's go back to the idea of locomotion. If there's constant repetitive use, and I'm not just talking about walking from here to the mailbox, I'm talking about a concerted effort of walking or running. You're going to start trail running 2 miles a day. You're going to notice that the muscles are going to shorten. As a result, over time, the chi is going to get blocked and there's the potential for an injury. Now notice I say potential. There are some factors, height, weight, build, stride, that may allow certain people not to get injured, while other people, they even put on their running shoes, they bend over, they hurt themselves. Okay, so there are factors like that. And the genetics of our body, how we are, in Chinese medicine was called the chi of prior heaven. I love that. The chi of prior heaven. That means that which was given to us by our forefathers, our parents and our grandparents. Just an interesting, another aside, the genes tend to skip, some traits tend to skip a generation. So that's food for thought, like hair color, for example, things like that. Again, another volume, I have so much to talk about. So today, if you got anything out of today's video, what I would like you to think about is how your chi may get stuck from repetitive use. And that if you keep doing what you're doing, what you need to do to undo that. Now, a lot of those answers are on how to stretch. And some of them are on changing your daily habits of how you get out of bed or how you change how you mouse and things like that on the computer. All right? That's today's episode of The Anatomy of Chi.